So, a Lebanese woman held up the bank to withdraw money for her own savings. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's crazy. And then we ask ourselves, why a woman held a bank up to withdraw money from her own savings account? And you know what I'm saying? I just think it's crazy that the shit we going on in the world with all these sanctions and whatever the reason is it really solving anything, or is it just making the world going more madder than it already is? Now, I'm gonna go and show y'all why this lady held the bank up to withdraw money for herself. Or well, to withdraw her own money, she held the bank up. Now, a Lebanese woman held up a bank with a plastic gun to withdraw $13K of her own savings to pay for her sister's cancer treatment. Sally Hafiz, and an activist from the Depositor Outcry Association, stormed a bank after she was told she can only get $200 out. Now, she was like, fuck that, my sister need 13 bands real quick or she gonna die. And that's when she came up with the plan. Of course they know it's her, but that's when she came up with the plan to fucking rob the bank to get her own shit. Now, she could have robbed the bank and got way more, but she knows she got it like that. She knows she popping. So she was just trying to get this money for her sister to get this cancer treatment. And them motherfuckers say she only can get out $200. And she said, y'all motherfucker tripping, smoking heavy, cha-la-ka-la. So then that's when she motherfucking did what she had to do. And I feel that.
This video is wild, but we warn you, it's hard to watch. Watch as 28-year-old Alvin Little walks down a Miami street with his 3-year-old son. Further up the street, this happens. Little pulls out a gun and starts firing directly into that silver car, killing a man, all with his son right behind him. As they run away, a man gets out of the backseat of that car and chases him with a gun. And seconds later, a woman gets out of the car limping. Just look at how close that 3-year-old was to the action. Little claims it was all in self-defense. This all happened a few years ago, but Thursday, Little was convicted of shooting a deadly missile and possession of a firearm by a felon. He faces 45 years in prison.
We have breaking news. A Paris couple who tortured and imprisoned their 13 children for years.
Never before seen footage of a child's daring escape from unimaginable abuse.
This is 911. Do you have an emergency?
My 2 little sisters right now are chained up.
On January 14th, 2018, a 17-year-old girl made a 911 call with a distressing story.
This is one of the most scariest things I've ever done. I'm terrified.
When police arrived to investigate her allegations, they stumbled upon unimaginable cruelty.
This is off the charts sadistic.
The harrowing story began more than 30 years earlier when engineer David Turpin met high schooler Louise Robinette.
Louise actually started dating him at 15. My dad didn't want her to because he was so much older.
They married when David was 23 and Louise was just 16.
Louise was always a leader.
And it was her way or no way. And if she had to sneak around to do it, she would do it.
Driven by their Christian beliefs, the couple wanted to start a large family and homeschool their children.
Louise had come up with a type of hybrid religion, but they didn't go to church.
They soon had 10 daughters and 3 sons, but the parents did not devote any care towards their children.
I remember they were really strict.
David was very reserved, and Louise made all the rules.
While living in Texas, 10 of their children were forced to live in a small trailer on the property, with little to no food provided to them.
They would buy food, including apple pies, leave it on the counter, let the children look at it, but not eat the food.
When the family moved out of their Texas home, neighbors reported finding the house left with tons of dead animals and garbage.
Grime smeared on the stairwells, human filth on the floors.
In 2014, the Turpins moved to California, and on a family trip to Vegas, David and Louise renewed their wedding vows.
In pictures posted on Facebook, David and Louise Turpin surrounded by their 13 children. They appear to be portraits of one big, happy family.
While everybody saw a carefully crafted image of the family, secretly the children were suffering.
We live in stilts, and sometimes I wake up and I can't breathe because how dirty the house is. We never take baths.
Rarely seen outside, neighbors describe them as pale, thin, and quiet.
She didn't want me talking to the kids, and they weren't allowed to talk to me without permission.
When the parents announced they would be moving yet again, their 17-year-old daughter snuck out in a panic and called 911.
I just ran away from home.
Okay.
My 2 little sisters right now are chained up.
Arriving, the cops were horrified.
Jordan goes on to show the deputies pictures of her sisters, chained up and appearing frail. There's also bruises up and down their arms.
Every inch of the house was covered in human waste, moldy food, dead animals, and garbage.
The district attorney saying the children were allowed to bathe only once a year, and none of the victims had ever seen a dentist.
The younger children seemed to be cut off from reality.
They had very little knowledge of the outside world. In fact, these kids didn't even know what a police officer was.
While some of the Turpin siblings were over 18, they appeared much younger due to starvation.
Doctors are now treating the siblings, one of whom is 29 years old and weighs just 82 pounds.
The parents were quickly arrested.
David and Louise Turpin pleaded not guilty to a combined 75 total counts.
They were sentenced to life behind bars for their crimes.
Now this mother and father are the ones in shackles.
But sadly, the trouble for the children did not end there. 5 of the younger children were adopted into a new family that continued to abuse them.
The children are now suing the foster care provider and Riverside County, California, claiming they had to have known the foster parents were unfit.
Responsible for her parents' arrest, Jordan Turpin has become a spokesperson for her siblings.
Something I look forward to every single day is when I get together with all my siblings.
She's grown a TikTok following of supporters, and even Haley and Justin Bieber invited the family to a concert. Despite the attention, Jordan says her siblings have been pushed into the world with no life skills or support from the donations they received when their case went public.
She said she would go 24 hours without eating and beg her social worker to give her some money so she could purchase food.
As they await the verdict from their lawsuit, they hope to leave their nightmarish past behind them.
Jordan says she stays strong, knowing she needs to be there for her 12 brothers and sisters.
Do you think the turn-up siblings have a chance at normal life? Should parents be allowed to homeschool their children with no regulations?
Now, I feel bad for anybody that dealing with something like that right now. You gotta speak out, you gotta say something, whether you know about it or not. And somebody might call it a snitching or fucking being a tattletale. You look at it as you doing something that's supposed to be done right, you know. Fucking God didn't put us here to be tortured the way these people, these kids, you know what I'm saying, been tortured. God didn't put us here for that shit. So, if y'all know anybody that's going through that, like I said, say something, speak up, call the authorities, motherfucking goddamn, whatever you gotta do to help somebody out that's going through a tough situation like that, because that shit isn't, I mean, it's just fucking nasty, it's not humane, none of that. You know what I'm saying? So, y'all be careful. I mean, even with these folks out here doing weird shit, y'all just be careful. Man, I ask myself, how the fuck can you be a parent doing that to your own flesh and blood? Something that came out of your body that you motherfucking produced. You know what I'm saying? And I just don't understand people like that. You feel me? Like, ain't no way in the hell I will treat a human being, let alone my own damn kid, you know what I'm saying? Fucking go through some shit like that. Fucking baths once a year? Fucking showers? You know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck is the point then? Taking a bath once a year? And then think about that 17-year-old that's been dealing with that shit. Going through that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I couldn't even imagine how she must feel. I mean, she's a strong person, a very strong survivor, I tell you that. Because it takes a very strong person to go through shit like that for so long. And then to finally pull yourself through. It took her 17 years to pull herself through of that type of situation. Now I'm about to show y'all exactly why natural is the best. Unless you gotta go under a medical procedure. But if you don't, natural always the best way to go. I know the success rate of surgeries and all this other stuff, when you alter your body that God give you, most of it do be successful, but we do have those stories that don't be successful. And that's the stories they don't really talk about or share. But today, I'm going to share this story with y'all on why natural is better, whether if you're saggy, draggy, or ain't got nothing but a chest. You know, don't alter your body just because you feel you'll be accepted and appreciated more than having this whole made up, cut up surgery, fake parts here and there as body. So let's get into this story.